me about it. Come on, let's talk about it. Change up the things you see. Open your mind to possibilities. Find your power, passion, and your purpose. You know it's time for you to walk in greatness. Let's murder mediocrity. Slay your goals, live out your dreams. Right now. Inspirational perspective.
Today I want to talk about how we thrive. Like, how do we thrive in an uncertain and unpredictable environment? And I think we can say that what's going on now, like right now, we are now in an uncertain and unpredictable environment. So I believe if you're a business owner or you know a business owner, you know a business leader, reach out to them and say, hey, this today's show is for you. I'm excited about some of what I'm going to share. I was looking at the notes last night, and I'm like, yeah, I think I may have said it last week, that almost everything we should do is counterintuitive to what we would do. And that's the same way it works in uncertain and unpredictable environments. Like typically, an uncertain and unpredictable environment causes you to freeze. Like that's the normal way of being for most folks. Like, oh my goodness. Let me stop and just look around. But this is actually when you want to be in action. You want to double down. If you ever wonder how the wealthy get wealthy, they're doing what everybody else is not doing. And that's why so few are wealthy. And so in terms of being successful in an uncertain, unpredictable business environment, a lot of what we're going to talk about is counterintuitive to what we would, our urges and our knee-jerk reactions. And so I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today from that perspective. Real quick, I do want to just cover some of what we've talked about over the past few weeks, because this is the last part of what we will be discussing in terms of leading and navigating uncertain times, and in particular today, thriving. Like, how do you thrive in uncertainty? How you know if a person has vision or not? Look at their life. Look at their fruit. It's that simple. And right now, if you're like, ooh, well, I really haven't done much, then follow the formula I just shared. I told you in my 20s, I was like, why am I not doing what I know I should be doing? I went and got support, therapy, coaching, etc. Follow that formula, and you will get there. The other reason I believe that many people are not successful is because we're looking for our vision outside of ourselves. We had an incident here where pastor was in the comments, and he told me he was going to test my leadership. And the test of my leadership was whether or not I was going to call him and become enrolled in his vision. Now, as a leader myself, I'm very clear on my vision. And another reason many of us aren't successful is because we are operating in someone else's vision and not operating within our own. It really is that simple. And by the way, like no shade or disrespect to that pastor. He's just passionate about his vision. And if I can enroll folks in working with me and doing that easily, I would too, right? I want my vision to advance. But it's important for us as leaders to understand the guardrails of our vision And where our vision begins and where it ends. Where it ends is the destination, it's the destiny. Brother, that's your direction. I must take mine. And so, and I still will call them to really test it. But the call, I think sometimes we believe, like to that leader, the call is urgent. To me, it goes behind the must-dos aligned with my vision. All right, the must. Hopefully, this is making sense to you, right? But another reason why many of us don't get where we intend to be is because we allow others to dictate to us what is pertinent and what is urgent. And your vision should be the only thing that dictates that for you. Where does vision come from? It comes from within. When I say from within, we have to remember that we have a piece of God inside of us. And so I am connecting to the Creator inside of me to identify the vision. As a matter of fact, just about everything you need is inside of you. And one of the reasons you don't have it is because everything on the outside is too loud. That's a whole show. That's a whole, I could go the next 2 hours on that. That's not what we're here for. I'm going to close this out. But write that down. If you're not clear on your vision is inside of you. And the reason the vision is not clear is because the noise outside of you is too loud. Too loud. I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe this week. And one of the things he said that really struck me, he was talking about prayer. And he said, do you know that the major portion, how does Dr. Miles Monroe talk? He has that voice like, did you know that the major part of prayer is meditation? And then he just got quiet. And then he said something that made so much sense to me. He said, one of the reasons many of you don't hear the voice of God is because you're too busy talking. Most of us pray, and our prayer is all talk. I need, please, amen. We get up, and then we go about our day. And then he said something that made so much sense to me. He was like, if you shared all these wants and these needs, wouldn't it make sense to then stop and be quiet and listen for the answer? He said, and that's the meditative part of prayer, right? And I was like, man, that makes so much sense, right? In fact, I'm like, I need to switch around the order. Like sometimes I meditate before I pray. I'm like, maybe I need to pray, then meditate. And then that's where you get your answer. I'm like, wow, that's really good, right? But for the most part, we were trained to just talk in prayer. And then we wonder why we don't hear anything. I can't get direction. What do you mean my vision is inside of me? Just be quiet and listen. We move with so much noise. There's always something. There's something on the phone. There's a notification. You get in the car, it's the radio. And then you ride while you're driving, there's billboards. Something's always stilling your mind. More importantly, stilling your subconscious. How do we lead and thrive in uncertainty? Thrive being the major portion, the major portion of this. Like, how do we thrive? How do we thrive during a time like this? You might say, Linnell, like, how is that even possible? Everything that's going on, and you're talking about thriving? Like, everything that's happening in the world, and you're talking about thriving? Well, let me be clear about something. And this is the 2+2 of vision. I want to be very clear about this. We create what we see. And if you allow your environment to dictate, listen to me very carefully. We create what we see in our mind's eye. And if you allow your environment to dictate what you see for your future, you're in trouble. Like if you allow this outside environment, oh my goodness, Ukraine, Russia, oh my goodness, Palestine and Israel, oh my goodness, what has happened? I think now you got China on the borders of Taiwan. Oh my goodness, what are we doing? $100 billion when we have all, oh my goodness, oh my, if that becomes your vision and those emotions, right? Because let's think about emotionally what that does to a person. Anxiety, fear, those emotions become a part of your daily existence. You will create everything that aligns with that anxiety and fear. This is why we got to be so careful how we feed ourselves. When I say feed ourselves, I'm not talking about, well, the food you put in your mouth is important too, but more importantly, intellectually. What is going into your mind? What is going into your mind? Just because they're showing all the images of what's happening in Palestine, don't mean you got to look at it. I saw a few. I saw enough. They're in my prayers. But I'm not about to bombard my subconscious mind with images of that. Because then I start thinking about my own children and what they look like. I don't want that in my mind. Because we create what we see. We create, this is why it's so important to control your thoughts. We create what we see. We create what we see. So I'm about to talk about how we thrive in uncertainty. And you may already be like, oh, okay, I think I see where he was going. I think, but I really want to break this down for you. I really, truly want to break this down for you. And so let's get here. I'm getting to. So last week I closed and I asked a particular question. And that question was, one more thing I need to review to make sure we're all in the same part, right? Vision is starting with the end in mind, right? So I can see where I'm going. I'm very clear. I talked about the only way to get from point A, where you are now, to point B is to be crystal clear on the vision. We talked about what crystal clear was, right? Like crystal clear means I can see every detail, right? Right now, some of you all take foggy pictures because the lens on the back of your camera is dirty. The picture, you're like, why don't it just happened to me. Somebody said, your phone take better pictures than mine. I said, well, you got an iPhone too. What iPhone you got? You must have a titanium. I said, I don't have a titanium. Mine is a 14. I got a 14 too. Why your picture's better than mine? Because my lens is crystal clear. It's just that simple, right? Same technology, right? And think about the human body. You have the same makeup that I do. Everything that I've done in my life, you could do too. Think about that. What's the difference? Your lens is foggy. You need to wipe it. So today, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to wipe the lens. This is what we're going to do. We're going to wipe the lens a little bit. Wipe the lens of your life so things can get clear. The only way to get from point A to point B is to be crystal clear on your vision. And the vision should be so clear that when you think about it, it is mentally and emotionally compelling. See, think about this right now. Everything that's going on in the outside world, it has an emotional factor, right? You look at it, it makes you feel a certain kind of way. If you don't have a channel in your mind that you can switch to that gives you a higher vibration, you follow? You can switch to in your mind and say, well, Lord, I don't know what I can do about that, but this is the mission you have me on. If I can save the children in my community here. And then I switch to that vision. All of a sudden, my vibration changes to that, right? We covered vibration and in the 12 universal laws. My frequency shifts to that. That is how I'm creating in my life. That is what I'm doing in my life. And that's why my vision should be mentally and emotionally compelling. What's about to happen in the corporate arena? Let me tell you what's about to happen in the corporate arena when all this uncertainty begins to happen. They're going to begin hedging. What is hedging? They're going to begin protecting their cash. How do you protect your cash? This is textbook. We go through these cycles. How do you protect your cash? Well, you begin to get rid of expenses. What is one of a business's largest expenses? Human capital. What is human capital? You. So big businesses right now are beginning to look at human capital. What an interesting time. Doesn't it always happen in the fourth quarter? You ever notice that? Right around the holidays, why would you lay folks off during the holidays? Titus, why would you do that? Why would you lay folks off during the holidays? Such a time when they actually need the revenue? Because the businesses are hedging for their own success. They're hedging for their own vision. And you are a commodity. You are not a part of that vision. You are a way for them to get to the vision, not the vision itself. And so this is what's happening all around us. So with this type of uncertainty building, how do you thrive? Then I asked the question, this is a reflection question. And I asked, is the world outside of your organization, this is for entrepreneurs, is the world outside of your organization moving faster than the world inside your organization? And this is a good test on what's going to happen in your business during this time. If you can't make quick changes, you're in trouble because everything around you is changing. And so, again, ask yourself, is the world outside of my organization moving faster than the world inside my organization? And for most of us, the answer is yes, the world outside is moving faster. And it's like, even for me, I'm like, all right, we at minimum have to keep pace. Like we gotta. One of the examples I gave is if artificial intelligence is the thing, are you using it in your business? If you're not using it in your business, the world outside your organization is moving faster than you. And with artificial intelligence, it's moving much, much faster. I'm telling you already, my team and I, we're moving faster than we used to a year ago with artificial intelligence. It's just, I ask my assistant all the time, do you have to do that or can AI do it? AI can do it. All right, cool. Let me give you something else. Right? So run that through AI, get it back to me, and then now spend time on this. Right? So my assistant is getting more than your assistant getting done, like period. Right? Because we're using everything from the outside world in our business. In the 21st century, in this era, in today's business environment, is deep expertise in planning still the key to success? If you believe deep expertise in planning is still the key to success, say yes. If you believe that it's not, that deep expertise in planning is not the key to success, say no. I love to see what people are saying in the comments. Go ahead. I won't call your name, I promise. But what do you see here in terms of how things are moving and what you should be doing as a leader, as someone who intends to be successful during this period? In the 21st century, right now in this business environment, is deep expertise in planning still the key? That's a key word. The key to your success. Is it the key to your success? Okay, answers are coming in. Lots of yeses, lots of yeses. Stick with me, stick with me. I got one no. Lots of yeses so far, though. Is deep expertise in planning still the key? Still the key. Now, for those of you all who are still on the fence, you're like, I don't want to be wrong. Like, let's look at things. Let's look at things. All right. Now, remember, throughout this series, this is how I know who's been like really paying attention during the series, right? Pat, you've been paying attention. Pat's been paying attention. She said no. She's right, actually. Check this out. Let me break it down. In the industrial age, during the Industrial Revolution, deep expertise in planning was necessary to be successful, right? But hold on. Everything was predictable. Everything was systematic. Everybody went and stood in a line. Okay? All right, now fast forward, we move to the information age. And now I don't have to be an expert. All I need is access to experts. Think about it, right? Like, come on. How many shows have I done on health and well-being? Am I a doctor? No. So, like, do I have a practice? No. But I can still deliver powerful information around your health and well-being without being, quote unquote, a health expert. And there are health experts out there, let's be clear, right? But I have the ability in this era to go gather all the knowledge from health experts, double check it, fact check it, right, my team and I, and then say, oh, this is what we should do, right? And then, by the way, it continues to change. I learned some things this year from someone within my scope, actually Ann and her husband, the Moonies, around blood type that I didn't know. They're like, oh, Linnell, you should be eating in line with your blood type. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I heard Dr. Sebi say something like that, but then Dr. Sebi say, you ain't much of none you can eat with Dr. Sebi. I'm like, I can't even have my lentils with Dr. Sebi, right? Like Dr. Sebi, come on, bro, right? And I get it. He's curing people of all types of ailments, right? He's proven it. Okay. May he rest in peace. So deep expertise in planning is not necessary, is not the key to success anymore, right? Because many of you all will listen to me in areas where I don't have deep expertise. Why? Because you trust that I went and found the information and checked it. And then even then I tell you, don't believe me. Don't believe anything I say. Go check. That's what I tell you, right? Okay. So the answer is no. The answer is actually no. You no longer need deep expertise in planning to be successful. Now, that just shook some folks. Now, here's what I want you to get. Here's what I want you to get. In the 21st century, in 2023, anyone who's called themselves an expert for the last 2 decades, 3 decades, you should be afraid of. This is my problem with the medical establishment. Okay? Not all doctors, but some of y'all. Okay? My problem is they're still diagnosing us. When you go to the doctor, right? They're still telling you things that they learned 30 years ago. I'm at a point now where I want my doctor to be younger than me. I need for you to just get out of medical. Like, I want your books to be fresh. All right? And there was a time, by the way, where no shade. There's some really good, like, Dr. Mason, somebody who, the brother's retired and he's still checking, he's still looking and reading. And, there are doctors out there who are mature, who are still learning. Right. But there ain't a lot of Dr. Masons, though. All right. Overwhelmingly, many of them aren't. And so you should be afraid of somebody who has a title. You should be afraid of somebody that has a title. And when I listen thoughtfully and carefully, and I go, I got to go check this out. When did you learn that, Doc? My wife and I have literally had a doctor tell us, I don't know what you're talking about. After I did research. Well, can my wife eat this and that and it remedy the problem? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay. And this is who we went to for support and help. All right. So I think we're clear now that deep expertise and planning are not the key to success in 2023. Definitely not 2024. Okay. So then what happened? Why is this different? Why is there all of a sudden that everything around us changed? And again, remember, we're talking about your ability to lead and thrive in uncertainty. I asked a big question here, and that question was, in today's business environment, in the 21st century, is deep expertise in planning still the key to success? We got a lot of different answers in the Facebook stream. By the way, you can watch the stream live right here from the studio by going to facebook.com/Coach Linnell Harris. You can watch the stream live there and make comments as well. And the answer to that question was no. Deep expertise in planning is still not the key to success. In fact, my good friend, Attorney Fenton, put in the key to success is execution. Execution. What is a synonym for execution that you all hear me talk about often? Action. Taking action. So, in unpredictability and uncertainty, most people freeze. And what I am saying ultimately is this is not the time to freeze. This is the time to be in action. All right, so let's break this down. Why is it that deep expertise in planning still is not the key to success anymore? Well, you got to remember, back in the day, there used to be this thing called the 10,000 hour rule. You ever heard this before? Like the way to mastery is to do something for 10,000 hours. So if you do something for 10,000 hours, you are a master. Like you are a master of that particular subject. Now, let's be clear. Expertise and mastery are two different things. All right, so I was talking about going on a doctor's visit. And I'm like, well, now when it's just something they're giving me like, well, I think this is what you should do. I want somebody who is young and fresh. But if I had to go into surgery, it's different. Now I want a master. I want somebody who's had 10,000 hours of surgery. Where is he now? Like, oh, you too young. Now you see how it changes? You don't have no gray hair? Where's the real doctor? I need the doctor who's got gray hair. He's got gray in his beard. You know what I mean? Like he comes in and he says, this is my 3,000th surgery. Like, amen to that. Amen to that, right? Like, yes. Yeah, I want you to know. You done did this 3,000 times. How many, sir, have gone right and how many have gone wrong? And why did they go wrong, right? Like, he can give me that number and say, this is what these people did and this is what went wrong. Okay, all right. When is the date? When will you do your surgery on me, right? I want somebody who, when it comes to that, like they're a master. And there are masters out there that we celebrate. I can start calling names. Serena Williams. Like when you think of her, you think mastery, right? Mastery. 23 Grand Slams won. And you think about the amount of time. I don't know if y'all seen King Richard. It was inspiring, by the way. If you're a parent, you should watch this. This is what got me on board with visions for my children. I'm like, okay, I can't be sitting by waiting. I got to pick what they're going to do, right? How they going to show up in the world. But her father, her and Venus's father, like they were putting in hours as children. How do you compete with that? How do you beat that when somebody is a master? They're a master. Here's another master who just walked away from the game. Tom Brady. He's a master. 7-time Super Bowl champion. 7 times. 7 times with 2 different teams. Like, that's impressive. Right? That's goatish. Mastery. And so this is what we get confused. This is why some people turned the radio off when I said no to does deep expertise and planning, is it still the key to success? Because they're like, well, when I look at a Serena Williams, I mean, how did she get where she got, Linnell? So, when they turned the radio off, I can't say they were completely in error, right? They just didn't hear me out. This is why you always hear a person out. Like, you didn't hear everything I had to say, okay? Because I'm not telling you not to become a master. What I'm telling you is, like what Brother Fenton said, you also need to be executing and taking action. Now, check this out. The 10,000 hour rule works. Listen to me. It works when you know all the rules to the game. So what's what is synonymous with the games that Serena and Tom Brady play? Serena Williams and Tom Brady. You know, think about Michael Jordan, master, right? What is synonymous in those games? Well, we know all the rules to the game. The out of bounds never changed. I mean, they didn't change the rules on Serena halfway through, say, well, now the court's going to be just a bit larger. Right? That would have shook the whole game up. Right? Or move the free throw line back on Jordan. Why could he close his eyes at the free throw line? Right? And laugh about it? It's mastery. Thousands and thousands of hours. Right? Like thousands of hours. Of course he can close his eyes. Be like, well, that was reckless. No, he's a master. You know, the free throw line hasn't changed. Of course he can close his eyes. Tom Brady. Like the rules of the game haven't changed. The 10,000 hour rule works when the rules to the game don't change. However, in business, it doesn't work in a Vuka environment. What is Vuka again? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Look around you right now. If you're an entrepreneur, you cannot tell me you're not feeling the volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, and the ambiguity. You can't tell me you're not feeling it. And so being a master doesn't work in this environment. You have to be willing to change the rules of your business. Uh-oh. But Linnell, you don't understand. I started my business to do, and that's what we gonna do. Okay. Well, you know, good luck with that. Good luck with that. You got to know when to change the game. Check this out. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I'm going to give you a couple of examples because I don't want you just to believe me. Believe the examples. Did you know when YouTube was introduced to the world that it was a dating website? Did you know that? YouTube's purpose was to broadcast yourself, not to the world like I'm doing, like, you know, we got the YouTube channel, but to get people to learn about you so they would date you. Hi, my name's Linnell. I'm a Leo. I like long walks on the beach. I particularly like the beach. Hopefully you'll see this video and you will respond, right? That's what YouTube was created for. Now, the inventors of YouTube realized that, well, in the environment they had built it in, it didn't work. So did they just close the company? No. They moved to how the customers were using the tool. They're like, wait, people coming on here and they're not talking about dating. They're talking about their business. Like, hi, my name's Linnell Harris. I'm a coach. I happen to be married, so I don't want you to date me. But if you need somebody that can support you in your business, holla at me. They're like, well, what is this? So they didn't say, no, customer, you're wrong. Don't do that. They said, wait a second. There's a trend here. Folks are talking about themselves, but other things. Maybe YouTube should be that. And now look at them. Some of us are so married to how we do business, the customer comes in and say, well, this is the way I want to do business with you. And you're like, bye-bye, customer. And then we're like, well, why is my business not thriving, coach? Your customers are telling you how they want to do business with you. They're telling you how they want to do business. You say, you're the one saying no, right? YouTube figured it out. Look at them today. There's a word for this. I'm going to tell you in a moment. In 2007, Nokia, you know what Nokia is, Ide? Okay. I had to check. You know, you're below 30. You used to have one? Okay, all right. So you know what Nokia is? Just in case I got some Gen Z listening this morning, Nokia was the largest cell phone competitor in 2007. Now, let's just think about that. For those of you who've been around as long as I've been around, just think about that. Think about that, right? Nokia was where is Nokia today? Nokia, where are you? Where is Nokia today? Hold on, check this out. They were number one, but guess who was number two? Motorola. Motorola, where are you? Hold on. Guess who was number three? See, here's the thing. Some of y'all are like, I don't need this. My business is going to be fine. So Nokia thought that too. Motorola, guess who was number three? Samsung. Hold on. Guess who was number four? Sony Ericsson. Who? Who? Guess who was number five? LG. What does LG do now? Really good. Oh, televisions. I got all my televisions that used to be Samsung, right? Now I'm like, I'll take a Life is Good. And by the way, I kind of like the model. I like for Life is Good to pop up when I turn the TV off, because y'all know how I feel about subliminal messaging. So LG is my television of choice. Okay, anyway, it was number 5 in cell phones back then. That's what they were doing. Hold on. The iPhone that most of y'all have was a concept that had poor reviews. Hold on, just think about that. See, this is why when you have a vision, you got to stick with it. The iPhone had poor reviews. Not from the customers, but from the industry. What does Steve Jobs think? I mean, what do you think? Now, check this out. Nokia's CEO talked about the iPhone back in February 3rd, 2007. I have the article right here in front of me. Check this out. All right. Here's what he said. See, this is why we got to be careful with expertise, okay? Here's what he said. I don't think that what we have seen so far from Apple was something that would in any way necessitate us changing our thinking when it comes to openness, our software and business approach. You know, the fact that Apple was entering the market in general, I think will stimulate the market a little bit. I think it's good for the industry, and we very much welcome that. Like, how condescending, right? You ever talk to somebody about what you do, and they're like, oh, that's nice. Right? You know, when that's happened to me, I go, just watch me. Yeah, okay, that's nice. You know, might be working for me one day. Just watch me. Right? This is why vision is so important. Right? Now, fast forward. This quote is from like 2010. The CEO of Nokia is interviewed again, and they ask him about the iPhone. Here's his quote. We miss big trends. End quote. We missed big trends. Oh, okay. So, entrepreneurs, what's happening right now? What are the trends right now? How can you take advantage of these trends? Are you missing big trends? I said it, artificial intelligence is a big trend, right? I'm telling my clients now, like, hey, get it, man, get it. Like, figure it out, learn it. It's only going to get more complicated, right? So, like, if you have the base knowledge now, then later when they like, oh, here comes 4.0 is out there, 4.5, 5.0, you're like, oh, I'm good, right? We missed big trends. Okay, check this out. How much expertise did these companies have when they entered their marketplace? I'm going to throw one out here. Virgin America Airlines. Was Richard Branson airline CEO? No. He saw a missing. Man, flying ain't fun. Have you been on a Virgin American airline? quite nice. Quite nice, right? Flying's not fun. I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to make it desirable. Here's a guy who had no airline expertise and came in and rocked the industry. Hold on. There's another one. I remember when I used to get DVDs in the mail. Anybody else remember this? This new company had came out. I was living 220 at the time. What year was that? This had to be about 07. Like 07, 08, 09. It had to be about then, right? They went public in 2011. Hallelujah. See? Just sticking with the trends. It's not hard, y'all. It's not hard, right? I was there. When the IPO opened, I was there. Because I was like, this going to work. Well, but hold on. What did Blockbuster say about Netflix? They're mailing DVDs? It will never work. It will never work. Right? Did Netflix have expertise in movies? Did they have deep expertise in movies? No. Now, what are most of you all watching? What are most of you watching, right? Netflix. We don't even have cable no more. Xfinity who? Right? Only thing I need Xfinity for is internet. Hey, they keep calling. Mr. Harris, we want to give you a special sales offer. Is it free? Because otherwise, I get everything I need to watch through the internet. All I need y'all for is internet now, right? But were they aware this was going to take place? Were they ready for it? What about that Comcast cable division? If you work in Comcast cable, you get my point. Okay. When innovating, hold on, underline the word, write down the word innovation. When innovating, it is the unexpected that makes us stand apart. Unexpected. Now, what your friends going to say about your unexpected business idea? You know what? I'm about to pivot to this in my business. Oh, you sure you want to do that? Right? This is why you got to be so clear, so mentally clear. You like, this is the next play. This is the next play, no matter what. When innovating, it is the unexpected that makes us stand apart. That's a quote from the book Medici. It is the unexpected that makes us stand apart. In today's business environment, if it's expected, relies on expertise and sound logic, it likely won't make an impact. Isn't this counterintuitive to everything we were taught? If it's expected, relies on expertise and sound logic, it likely won't make an impact. Why do you think Adidas had to bring in Kanye? Do his shoes look like they make sense? I mean, let's just be. Does the shoe even look functional? The Yeezy, if it rains, your feet get wet. Is that a functional shoe? We were spending thousands of dollars on Yeezys, though. It's not a functional shoe. You can't wear it in the winter. If you do, your feet are cold. You can't wear it in the rain. Your feet get wet. It's just a comfortable, functional, funny-looking shoe that made Adidas billions. Let me read it again. In today's business environment, if it's expected, relies on expertise and sound logic. Because think about a shoe, right? If I were to drop a shoe, I would say, well, we need to look at all the expertise of the shoe. We need to look at the foot. We need to make sure it's comfortable. Oh, by the way, in Chicago, it snows, right? So we need to have good leather, good leather that keeps the foot warm, right? This is how I would have made the shoe if I weren't following these rules. What did Kanye say? Need something wow, something that just make people come, something that looks good, doesn't matter. And you still see people walking around in their Yeezys in the snow, right? Feet wet and cold. Don't matter. I look good. Right? Seriously. Like when it comes to fashion and almost anything else, check this out. When you're innovating during uncertainty, pay attention to small surprises that align with your organization's vision. So what surprises you? You say, well, this war surprises me. Okay. What can I do as a company? You say, Linnell, are you looking to profit off the war? My job, my work, my purpose is to support and help people. How can I pivot and support and help more people? How can I make more of an impact based on today's environment? See, that's how we got to be thinking as leaders. Right? How can I reach more people right now? How can I reach more people right now? So pay attention to the small surprises that align with your organization's vision. Okay, there's a lot more wars. This is surprising. Shouldn't be, but it is. Okay, so then as a business, this is what we're talking about in our meetings. All right, what do we need to do? How do we need to address this? Pay attention to the employees you have who enthusiastically share new ideas in support of your vision. I'm going to tell you something. Like, if you work with me and you want to make yourself invaluable, start sharing new ideas that align with the vision of the organization. Hey, what about this, boss? Hey, man, you ever thought about this? It's like, okay. I like that. I like that. If you're an entrepreneur right now, do you have people who are doing, and see, here's the thing, you got to be willing to listen. You got to be able to distinguish like, not you, but I like what you're talking about. Pay attention to small surprises. Pay attention to employees who are enthusiastic about your vision. Here's a big question. What are some of your old school business expectations and assumptions that you should be challenging going into 2024? Write that question down. What are some of your old school business expectations and assumptions that you should be challenging going into 2024? Like I'm looking right now, things are slowed down for me. I got one contract that's purposeful, by the way. And I'm like, I'm working that contract. We hit our goal for the year financially. Thank God. And so I'm like, I'm work this contract. That's gravy. Work this contract and coach. And now I'm looking at my business. Okay. This question right here. What are some old school business expectations and assumptions that I should challenge in 2024? Like, what should I be challenging? What should I be thinking about? Everything's uncertain right now. How should I, what direction should I go with my vision? What direction should I go with my vision? Dr. Price Pritchett said this when it comes to uncertainty. Quote, just lean back for a bit. Fat Joe said that too. Lean back. But Dr. Price Pritchett said it after him. Fat Joe said it first. Yeah. Dr. Price, I wonder what he listens to. Anyway, so Dr. Price Pritchett said, quote, just lean back for a bit. Study the situation. It might turn out that you're sitting there holding one hell of a hand. And it could be that all it comes down to is how you play those cards. See, some of us, we're allowing the uncertainty and the unpredictability, of what's going on to freeze us in a way. We're like, oh my God, what should I do? Are they going to lay me off? No. It's like, no, hold on. Calm down. Like, that's counterintuitive. Calm down. Relax. Study the situation. See what's going on. Read some articles. And then look at your own hand. What are the talents that I have? Like, and this is what I'm looking at. I'm like, man, what will CEOs need going into 2024? What will leaders need going into 2024? Like, how do I? So, let me ask you this question, right? If I'm a leadership development expert, consultant, executive coach, and corporate trainer, and everything has shifted in 2023, am I right? I mean, everything is changing. What sense does it make for me to go and try to sell all the old curriculums we created in 2024? What sense? Like, it worked. And see, here's the problem. I could be married to that, right? Because it took time to develop all that stuff. I could be married to it. Well, we need to get our money's worth. We already got our money's worth. We already got it, right? Now it's time to develop something new. What do leaders need? That's what this show is about. Like, what do leaders need right now? What do they need right now? And then if I show up and say, hey, Mr., Mrs., so-and-so, I've been thinking about you and your business. I've been thinking about your company. And this is something that we created in the fourth quarter of 2023 for you. Oh, wow. That's exactly what I was looking for. Right? But instead, I'm trying to sell the same old stuff. Hey, can I come in and executive coach your people? We don't have the money for that. We had to cut our budget. Like, I'm already expecting that. I hope this is making sense to you all. All right? So then how do we thrive in an unpredictable world? Because let's be clear, as uncertain as it was for our grandparents, and think about what the uncertainty they were in, right? World War I, World War II, Spanish flu, it goes on into Great Depression, etc. Like, as unpredictable as it was for them, it's going to be that squared for us. We already see it coming, right? So then how do you thrive? I ain't talking about survive. Like, I ain't trying to survive. I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to. Give me some hearts on Facebook if you in this game to thrive. Like, I'm in this game. I'm not just trying to survive. Like, survival is hard work. I'm trying to thrive. So I want to put the hard work up front, not on the back end trying to figure it all out, right? How we going to make ends meet? No, I want to thrive. Okay. So then how do I thrive in an unpredictable world? Here are 6 ways. I'm going to close the show with these 6 things. And by the way, Slayer Goals members, we're gonna really like dissect this in our session. More so the 6th item. All right. Somebody's like, how do you become a Slayer Goals member? Go to SlayerGoals.com. This is a great time to do it too. October. Next month, we're going to be talking about vision. December, we're going to be talking about vision. Man. All right. Anyway, so like when I say vision on the show and you're like, well, what does he mean? Just keep tuning in. All right. Number 1, always look for the opportunities to change the rules of the game. Let me tell you something. Like the Slayer Goals membership was me changing the rules of the coaching game. Right? Coaches were like, what are you doing? You can't do that. You can't coach people on Zoom. It's confidential. I said, but they know everybody there. It's supposed to be one-on-one. What do you just change the rules to the game? Who said I couldn't? Right? If they're willing to get coached, who said I couldn't coach them? Right? They're like, well, I guess, it's supposed to be confidential, but they know everybody listening. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I hadn't thought about it that way. Always look for opportunities to change the rules of the game. Always look for opportunities to change the rule of the game. If you're an attorney, like what rules need to be broken in 2024? If you're a house cleaner, what rules need, like, man, let me tell you something. With technology now, I might walk in somebody's house with a Roomba, You know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff. And it started. They like, what are you doing? I thought you were going to clean. I am cleaning. Hey, go do what you do. And after I get done, see if the house is clean. Right? What I need all these folks for? Then I'm getting the dust out the corners while the room was mopping and sweeping. I got to mop and sweep the floor. Maybe I just got to get. I'm thinking about how do you change the rules of the game? Roomba costs $600. An employee costs what? And then you like, hey man, you need to mop better. Man, let me get a robot. I'm just gonna get a robot. Anyway, change the rules to the game. Under Armour did this in their approach with Nike. Now check this out. Nike has so much market share. And they have so much market share. Think about the people who endorse Nike, right? LeBron James. How do you compete with Jordans? How do you compete with Jordans, right? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't get a basketball star. Like, Puma, they went and got basketball star. To me, that's where they're going. Why are you getting basketball stars? You don't do that. It's already gone. Who going to play better? They had Boogie, DeMarcus Cousins, for people who don't know who I'm talking about. Who else they have? LaMelo Ball. Puma's still fighting for market share. Do what Under Armour did. Guess what Under Armour did? Under Armour said, well, women are the major spenders, right? They buy basketball shoes for their boys. So if we can get them in our store, then they might just pick up the shoes and everything else they need in there. So we need someone who can reach women. And they went out and endorsed Misty Copeland. Titus, I bet you watched that commercial. A lot of men have watched that commercial. They won't admit it. They be like, what Misty doing? Right? Because she's excellent at what she does. She's beautiful too, right? I should have started with that. She's beautiful and she's excellent at what right. So they be like, babe, what you watching? Look at her dance, baby. I was watching her dance. No, you wasn't. Anyway, y'all get my point. Number 2, draw inspiration from fields and cultures other than your own. Who's your customer base? Draw inspiration from that. Like fusion has always been a thing. You ever go to an American fusion restaurant? So they got like Japanese with French, but you got Japanese food with French fries. Right? And people in there scarfing it down, right? But what they did was they draw inspiration from all these different cultures and different things and different fields, and they put it into one. And then they call it new. They're like, oh my God, that's all. All they're doing is appropriating. Well, this bullet right here is like, if they appropriate our stuff, why wouldn't you appropriate theirs? Like we sit back and we're victims. Oh, we're so innovative and they appropriate. Man, if you don't think I'm looking at other people and saying what they got that I can use, not only am I going to use my own innovation and the ability God gave me because of the helix of my hair. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's why you want to go to Ghana with me. By the way, the 2024 trip is available. LinellHarris.com/Ghana 2024. But I can use my own innovation. I also can look around and see what other folks are doing. Draw inspiration from fields and cultures other than your own. Here's the thing. All new ideas are combinations of existing ideas. Right? So if I'm in a particular, if I'm a chef, I'm eating at other restaurants. My cousin owns a jerk spot. He'll be the first one to walk into a jerk restaurant. But what they got going? He'll order a bunch, give me this, give me that, cuz what you want? Okay, this. You want something else? Cuz I'm good. No, what else would you get on this menu? Because we're going to taste all of this. Well, I guess I would. Okay, boom. Sit down. Don't eat all of it. He just, what they do with it? All right, throw the rest away. I know what I'm going to do. Now he's about to appropriate. Right? All new ideas are combinations of existing ideas. But here's the thing. But not all combinations are created equal. You got to figure out the right combo for your business. Innovation is at the intersection of culture and industry. What does our community have more than anybody else? Culture. So now, as we get into industry, we should be combining. So then why would I, as an African-American man, go into corporate America trying to be somebody else? That's boring. Right? But see, you would think you gotta be. You would think, I need to, I walk in as Linnell Harris. And of course, initially it's kind of like, well, how did he get in here? What's going on here? He's going to lead this whole session? But then when I get to talking at the end, they're like, that was amazing. Why? Because they like the culture mixed with the industry. They like that. They like that. Number 3, place more bets, try more ideas, and then double down on the winners. Here's the thing, man. Okay, what worked in your business in 2023, let's be clear, it's probably not going to pull this, maybe it will, but I don't believe it will. So 2024, 2025, we got to be different. So then part of what I'm doing this quarter is I'm thinking about, all right, so how do we go to market? I'm even investing in training and like, I want to see what other people are doing, right? What are they doing? How are they going to market? So I can begin thinking about that. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to try some things. Throw it like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think? They're like, I don't know about that, Linnell. Okay. What do you think about this, right? But then the one that starts winning, I'm going to double down. Scrap everything else. We're going with this. Here's an example of how this works, you guys. And this is why you got to place more bets. You got to be doing more work. Some people, you wrote one book, it didn't really sell. I'm not going to be a writer no more. Did you know Picasso had over 50,000 works of art? 50,000. Most of y'all only know one. But what if he had stopped on the first 3 paintings? He like, Ade, what do you think? Mama, what do you think? Girlfriend, what do you think? What if he was like, I guess I'm not a painter? There would be no Picasso, right? Whatever, man, when I was growing up, there was a woman and she called herself a poet. We went to the same church. And she would get up and she would do poetry. And I was a kid. We would sit in the back and we would laugh at her. Right? She might be listening. She's a listener. Right? She might know exactly who I'm talking. She might know. She's like, oh, he talking about me right now. I am. I'm about to give you all your props. We sit in the back and laugh at her. The poetry wasn't that great, man. She would say her poems. We'd be like, oh, here she go. Now today I would pay her to come do poetry. You understand? 10,000 hours. All right. Einstein wrote over 240 papers. Which one do you know? E equals MC squared. 240. Albert Einstein. It took him 239. They were like, eh. Now he's Albert Einstein because of the 240th. They weren't in that order, but you get my point. Okay. Angry Birds, that a lot of y'all played, was the designer's 50-second game. See, the problem is a lot of us, we stop too soon. Oh, it won't work. It won't work. You stop too soon. Keep going. But number 4, rethink the role of experience and expertise in your business. Rethink that role. Hey, I'm sorry, but I'm thinking about some of the coaches I work with. I'm like, will they make it into 2024 with me? Like, are they so married? Like, as we change things, are they so married to how we used to do it that they're going to be able to make it on the other side? Might need to go get some younger, malleable people. You get where I'm going? Like, but I'm not, you can be sure I'm not about to let their inflexibility ruin a good thing, right? Number 5, use inclusion to unleash the power of innovation. What do I mean by inclusion? Everybody around you. Hey, man, my wife and I, we've been talking about like what we're going to do for the holidays. Like, we want to have something at the house. And my mind's been running. I want to have a night with some CEOs that don't know each other. And we're going to let's help each other's business. Then I'm going to turn around and say, what do I need to be doing, y'all? How can I support you? Right? Then have some friends in different industries and masterminds. And it's all tax deductible. Tax deductible meals. I like tax deductible meals. Anyway, the defining features of great teams in the next decade will be the rise of diverse and inclusive teams. The rise of unorthodox, diverse, and inclusive. We're used to everybody like this is my team. You're going to have to figure out how to build a broader team. People who are teaming with you outside your industry because they can see things that you don't see. Number 6, this is the big one. Take small, executable steps towards your vision. So here's the thing. Once I identify, okay, this is going to be the new play. Now I'm creating a whole vision around that. This is what we're going in 2023. I can't tell you, 2024. I don't know what's going to happen in 2025, but this year, this is what we're going to do. The whole vision around that, we execute on the vision by taking small, executable steps. Small, executable steps. So how do we thrive in an unpredictable world? Number 1, always look for opportunities to change the game. Change the rules. Break the rules. Number 2, draw inspiration from fields and cultures other than your own. That's why you should be inclusive in terms of your friends. I only deal with black folk. Well, that's why your business is where it's at. Number 3, place more bets, try more ideas, and double down on the winners. By the way, white folks who listen, if they only deal with white folks, you're the same place. Let me be clear. Hey, man, it's different now. You can't only deal with your folks and be successful. It's changing. The demographics of the United States are changing so fast. If you are successful today, you won't be successful tomorrow. That's to my white brothers and sisters. Place more bets, try more ideas, double down on the winners. Number 4, rethink the role of expertise. Experience and expertise in your business. It could be the ones who have the most experience and expertise that can hurt you in 2024. Number 5, use inclusion to unleash the power of innovation in your business. Inclusion outside of your team. Include others in other industries, etc. And number 6, take small, executable steps towards your vision. If you're a leader and your team, but what can you get done in the next 70 days that aligns with your vision? You got 70 days going into 2024. What can you and your team do in the next 70 days that will make a difference in 2024? I mean, like nothing you've ever seen. Man, this right here would take us to the next level. What can you do? Write that down. Whatever comes to mind, consider that's the beginning of the vision right there. Write that down. Your vision provides the foundation for your work. Remember, how do we see in unpredictable times? We identify the vision inside of us and we go after that vision. You have more wisdom and capability than you know. Now it's time to trust yourself. It's time to trust yourself. Nobody knows your business the way you know it. Now it's time to trust yourself. What's the vision? Here's the biggest question. In the next 70 days, are you committed to taking action? Action. We started this segment with the question. The question was, in the 21st century, in this business environment, is deep expertise in planning the key to success? We identified that the key to success is execution and action. Execution and action. I end the show asking you this question. Are you committed to execution? Are you committed to action? Now it's time to change everything up. Are you committed? What are you going to do? I'm going to end the show with this. Dr. Price Pritchett, one more time. from the book The Unfolding. Our destiny lies ahead, not with things that are going away. The industrial age, gone. The information age, shifting. Not with things that are going away, but things that are yet to come. And this is where we should invest ourselves. What's coming is what you should be investing yourself in. Instead of being afraid of it, you should be invested in it. Invested in it. And when I say invest it with your money, invest it with your mind, invest it with your actions. Invest it with your actions. How you execute. Our destiny lies ahead, not with things that are going away. Some of us, we're still sad. Everything's changing so fast, Linnell. Oh, what are we going to do? But in things that are yet to come. And that is where we all should invest ourselves. That is how you lead. And that is how you thrive in unpredictability. Hey, my inspired peoples. Linnell Harris here, certified ontological coach and trainer. I'm so excited that you're watching the channel. By the way, did you know you can catch the show live at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. every Sunday morning? You can. All you have to do is go to my Facebook stream, Coach Linnell Harris, catch the stream live, or you can listen to the radio show via iHeart at WVON 1690 AM. But since you're here, if you love the content, I ask that you share it, like this particular video, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you're having a great day.